After a short little 2-week break, I've been eager to get back to creating, so we're going to get back to the survival horror stuff today. So we've got some scenes here we were working on. I think the last scene we were working on, we talked about adding a second character to the game, and he starts off in a different location. So we're trying to make like a sort of like a junkyard or like a mechanics sort of thing. I just need to get the stream up here so I can see your comments. There we go. Okay, so it's been a while, so I've not played Dreams in a while, so I need to get back into the swing of things. So I might be a bit slow today, but we're going to get back into it. Every week, now that my vacation time is over, I can actually dedicate my life to this game now. Right, so where's there we go, Studio Lighting. Yeah, it's not long now until the full game comes out, so I'm hoping to get at least one more level complete. Not this level, but it's another level, short little platformer. Hopefully I can get that complete within the next week or so, because I'm worried that a lot of people are saying that once the full game comes out, perhaps the game might be a bit buggy, might be some glitches with some people's levels. So I don't want my level to break, so I'm going to release it just to get it out of the way. I'm just having a look today because I want to get some inspiration for the scene. I found some junkyard type things like the trucks, the pallets, a little TV maybe, some of the rusty cars and the bunch of junk basically. And the idea for this is the second character that you can choose in the game. He wakes up here and he's been tied up, and there's a little bit of a mystery to this character for his story. So as you play through the game, you start to find out why he was in that situation. So it's more than just fighting against zombies, it's also a bit about his own character development. And I'll need to create a development for the first character as well, but that's all to come. Excuse me. So just looking at some of the pictures here, I'm not going to make any of my own assets right now, that'll come later, but I'm just going to see if there's been anything added since to do with junk or junkyards or things like that. So this is what I picked up before, the junk pile, and then we had the junk car pile. So it doesn't look like there's been much developments with new new junk-like creations. There we go. There's the trucks that I used, the pallets. Is there anything else? Rubble pile, some cans. I don't know what this is. What is that supposed to be? A long loomer. I have no idea what that is. A banana peel, that's always handy. I think I'm just going to have to make a rough sort of level here. Oh, yeah, we've got all this city stuff, but I don't actually need this. This is just from the previous scene. I quickly remixed it. I just kept this just in case I was going to use any other assets from the previous scene, just to save me making them from scratch again. So I'm just going to pull over this is our playable character, pop him down there. There we go. As you can see, he's got his little custom animation. He's got his wee gun that he can aim and fire. Right, so if he's starting here, so this is the size of the character. So as you can see, I've overestimated the size of these of these trucks here. So I'll need to, first of all, I'll need to just reduce some of the sizes for these trucks. See what looks like a more realistic size. Of course, I can always change these later. I mean, that's a bit big. Maybe that's okay. Because if I was to put him in this truck, I guess that's a good size, more or less. Yeah, we'll do that. Right, I just need to get this truck, the sort of the same size. Okay. Because I wanted to make both characters, I wanted to give them unique starting locations. So the first character starts off in an alleyway that's surrounded by fire, and the second character, he's going to wake up in this sort of junkyard type place. Maybe I'll make this truck a bit bigger, make one bigger than the other. I need to take these pallets and move everything over. Probably have to reduce the size of everything here as well. I think that looks more respectable. Maybe make the TV a wee bit bigger. Alright, so my biggest problem now is, okay, we've got the assets here. So now it's just to build some kind of playable level around these assets. So it's going to take me a bit of time just to figure out what's good, what looks good. So we've got the sizes more or less to the way I want them. Not perfect, but it'll do. Let me just double check this. This looks a good size already, I think. So this is all the assets that I'm planning to use, and I've got all of these as well. These were just like extra things that if I want to throw around, but for the most part I'm probably just going to use like the bulk sort of area. I think I'm going to take like one of these barrels, and I think this is where he was probably tied up. He was probably, like, if you imagine he's lying down like this, right? Perhaps this is the barrel that he was strapped to, and then we can start to build the level around this sort of area here. So let me just, I'm going to duplicate a few of these little things here. See, I don't want to make it so obvious that I'm duplicating the same objects over and over again. So we'll fix that at some point. Don't worry, that'll be a priority. But I just want to make it look a bit varied compared to the street once you go outside. Obviously I want it to look a bit different. So since there's this is a junkyard and it's very busy with lots of things, there's going to be a lot of duplication here. Okay, I think I'll put one of these just like at the front there. It's going to be like the most cluttered and horrible looking junkyard you've ever seen. It's probably not going to be that realistic to start off with. So once we go through the junkyard, there's going to be sort of like a mechanics building here. I don't know how big I'm going to make this junkyard, because I don't want this to be like a huge area in the game. I just want it to be like a little sort of tutorial. Maybe there's like a zombie that you find around one of the corners, and once you get into the mechanic area, that's when you meet another character, and he's going to be trying to defend the entrance. He's blocking up with boards, and he gives you your first weapon, Right, so let me lift him back up here. I still need to add in all the cameras from the previous scenes, because we're using it's a classic survival horror, so we're using the static cameras. Just having a look at some pictures here to see how the junkyard looks. Since it's in the city, there's not really going to be any trees or any of that kind of stuff. It would be good if I can get one of these cars, right? And then just I'll need to spray paint this later, right? But I want to see, kind of like, is it hard to change the colour to something that's a bit more rustic, maybe? Just for now, right? Nothing that's going to be too obvious. I'll do for now, that's fine. I'll fix it later, right? Just make it look brown. We'll add the rust later. That'll do. I don't know what any of these things do. Let's make it super waxy, right? Okay. Right, let's just pretend that these cars are in the junkyard, but they're not super old, right? They're just here to be collected, I suppose. So let me see, I'll put a car there. So let's see, if you start here and you've got a camera here, right? Maybe I'll bring these a little closer, just to make the area a bit smaller, you know. Put the pallets, in fact I should probably group all these pallets together just to save me selecting them all the time. Then I'll just stick them here. That way it's sort of blocking the entrance to these trucks, so you don't go down that way, you don't get stuck on anything. I don't know what if I'll keep this TV. Maybe something can play on it. I don't even know if someone's made an animation using the TV, if it's possible in Dreams. I'm not too sure. Hey Gribble Grunger, how are you doing? Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. I was on holiday for the past few weeks, so I didn't do any streams and I missed a lot of new levels, so I've been trying to catch up with some of your content. I was watching the I think it was the adventure games. I think you mentioned that most of the ones you were displaying were from late in early access, and they actually look pretty damn good. I'm quite surprised. Like, I've never found these levels. I probably should have played them at some point, but the animations and the designs of some of the enemies and stuff was really impressive. That's given me more hope that people are going to start making these big sort of polished games come the full game. So are you winding down your content now for early access? Starting to plan for the full game, I imagine. Let me get some more of these barrels here. Just sort of stick them here. Block off that part of the area. That'll do. Got a bunch of things here though. I don't know if I'm going to use these. Maybe later for decoration or something. It's like nuts and bolts. Where did you go? I'm actually in Brazil, so it was the south of Brazil that I went to. I was invited to a wedding, so I was attending that and seeing some of my wife's family. Yeah, I made a mistake on the adventure video. I normally place them, but for some reason I didn't. Ah, okay. That was nice just to look through them all, just to see. I should probably, I don't know, when you make videos of your top 10s, do you curate them in Dreams to create like a list? Because I really want to go through like all of the best early access levels that I can find, all the old ones and things. So if there's more collections on your your channel, on your profile. I'll need to check that out and see. Try and catch up with all the good stuff before the full game comes out. I'm basically just easing along and trying to keep my database up to date. Yep, your vast database. I can only imagine how crazy it's going to get once the full game comes out. A lot more people will be buying the game. A lot more territories will be coming into the game. So it's good that you've had the practice to create and things and get your channel up to a regular standard. So when the full game comes out, you should be quite ready for it. I just make notes that I can return to later. Ah, okay. Yeah, it's good to plan ahead of time, isn't it? But yeah, on Saturday I'm going to try and find as many, not just new levels but old levels that I missed, and just play for like maybe 3 hours, go through tons and tons of levels, and just soak up as much of early access as I can, really, you know. Oh, don't remind me of that. It's going to be scary but fun. I think that's the right word. Oh yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be a Little Big Planet. I hope it's going to be like that, where you get almost the quality levels every day, or at least a good handful of quality levels every week. Because I mean, you're pretty good at finding these little hidden gems. That's quite good. Normally I just dream surf, but dream surf is it's not always perfect. You're going to miss some things that don't quite catch on. So I'll need to make a proper list of all the levels I still need to play. But right now I'm just going to get back to creating. It's been a while, so I'm a bit rusty. I don't even know what the plan is for this level. I'm just trying to think of some ideas. So we've got the scrapyard. This is all of the assets that I could find that were kind of related to a junkyard. I couldn't really find anything else, so I'll need to maybe start creating some of my own assets at some point. But I was thinking about buying a Move controller, because I think that's going to help me a lot to actually sculpt my own things and start painting my own things, so we can get some unique objects in the game and things like that. Hi June on Discord, how are you today? I have my methods, but at the end of the day it's a matter of watching all the social media sites, talking to creators and searching. Yep, that's the thing. You got to really be on the ball, because like if you don't search for one day, you might miss some really good creations. I try and do my best. Like I'll look on Twitter and I'll look for the tags and things and try and find some new things every now and again. But a lot of the stuff you need to filter through, because there's a lot of work in progress stuff, like just screenshots and videos. To find actual playable stuff, you really need to sift through a lot of the stuff. The VR Oasis, hi, how are you doing today? Welcome to the stream. We hope you're enjoying your week so far. Gribble, what is your name on Dreams? I think it's the same name as YouTube, isn't it? Gribble Grunger, I believe. Yeah, yep, Gribble Grunger, that's it. What a surprise! So he's got lots of good levels to his creations and things. What's this? Hey, oh, what's that? It's all orange. What happened there? JC All-Star, hey, welcome back to the stream. It's been a little while, but we're back. That's quite funny. You come to the stream and you address Gribble Grunger first. Hello. Just kidding. So hey Gribble, how's it going? I'm planning on making my first game. Do you have any tips on the gadget tools? So what wisdom do you have for us, Gribble Grunger? We need to know. What do you know about these gadget tools? Because I could probably use these tips as well. Yup, it's funny bruh. Hey, welcome to the stream. No, what's up? Hey, how you doing? Reckley, welcome back, Reckley. My survival horror or horror game genius. You're back. I'm still waiting for your next horror level. Sup, my brother, long time, man. Yeah, it's been a couple of weeks. I've been travelling, but I'm back now. So hopefully there's no more gaps in the schedule. I want Dreams, but on the 14th February it's coming out, and I pre-ordered it. Wow, well done. It's not too long to go. It's just a couple of weeks now, so that's good to get a lot more people in. So when you get Dreams, are you going to play a bunch of levels, or are you going to start creating first? That's what I'm curious to find out. All these people that missed out on early access, are they more eager to use the tools, or are they wanting to play some levels that they missed? JC All-Star, this guy is the one to ask. I'm still a novice. Okay. Do you have to connect the PlayStation camera to play Dreams? To play Dreams? No, not to play Dreams. I just use the camera to stream. That's it. I don't even know if you can use the camera in Dreams. I don't even know if there's an option for it. I know in like Little Big Planet you could take pictures, like snapshots, and import them into your scene, but I don't think the PlayStation camera is compatible with Dreams so far. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think so. Maybe that will come in a VR update potentially, because obviously they need the camera functionality for that. Suck Gribs, you cool bro, you some cool guy, man. How to send you my creations? Well, you go on to your creation, and I think on the top right hand side there should be a list of different settings, and there's one that says send to Dreamer. So you click it, it will say like send to Dreamer, and then you just type the name of the channel, or you can just search for a bunch of different people and just send it to as many people as you want. Then it'll appear in my notifications, so that's probably the best way to do it. Glad you're back, man. Hope you had a great time travelling. Yeah, it was nice to relax a little bit, but to be honest I kind of missed this. I kind of missed creating and things. I prefer working, you know, like a little rest is good, but when you want to do a lot of things, it can be a bit distracting. Like if I was still here, I would have made a lot more progress. I really wanted to make a demo for this game before I left, but I don't think that's going to happen now. I think I'm going to wait till the full game comes out before I actually dive into the logic, just in case there's any game-breaking bugs in the full Dreams release, as I'm sure you're all dreading. Yeah, what are you working on, Reckley? One character, one horror, and one minigame. Is it all the same thing? Yeah, I'd love to see another horror game. The last one you made was pretty good, and it was a small area, but you managed to drag it out in a really intelligent way. So I'm looking forward to seeing what your next horror game brings. I don't know if you've ever made a character before. I know you like to make spaceships and things, but yeah, I would love to check out one of your characters, and if you want to share any details about the character, the horror, or the minigame, by all means do so. I sent my most popular creation. Excellent. I'll add that to my list. On Saturday we do a stream that's just basically playing lots of different levels, so I'll dedicate Saturday to playing your level and as many other levels that I find. And this Saturday, probably every Saturday until the full game comes out, I'm going to play a bunch of levels, like new levels, old levels that I missed. I just want to get through as much as I possibly can from early access, so that when the full game comes out, I'm going to start from scratch, and then it'll be like a new phase, a new period of Dreams, you know. I'm working with, let me see, how do you say this name? Rurundian. on a horror game right now. Get that flaming horror game made. What kind of horror game are you making? I didn't know you were into horror games. That'll be quite interesting. We missed you too. That's nice. I will, Gribs. Hurry and make yours. Yeah, I'm curious about your creations, Gribble, because I don't think you've not made a dream. I know you've made some assets, but I don't know if you've made an actual dream yet. So that'll be interesting to see what you come up with, what your imagination is like. I imagine it's quite intriguing. I'm constantly trying to get this person's name, I'm not going to say it, to hone particular areas. I'm a perfectionist when it comes to narrative. That's quite interesting because I like narrative, so I think I'm going to really like your levels. Cool bro, I will do, thanks man. Tell Dan to pull his socks up. Oh, Dan, that's it. It was the first genre I covered when I wanted to be a writer. I direct right now until I can actually make stuff properly. Oh, cool. So just getting used to the cameras and things. That's a good way to start, I guess. Because there's not a lot of people that are that great at directing in Dreams, you know. Sometimes you got the camera and it goes like all over the place, you know. What's your horror background? Like, I mean, what kind of horror video games do you like? Horror movies, novels? Like, what's your area? You know, what scares you or what interests you in that sort of field? This game is going to be more about zombies, which is a bit cliche, but you know, you've got to start somewhere, right? I think I was trying, whilst I was away, I was trying to plan out all of the projects that I'm going to try and make over the next year or two. And looking at them, it seems like maybe like 60-70% of them are some kind of horror themed game or film. So you can clearly tell that I'm quite into the horror genre myself. I really want to make an RPG game as well, but I think it's going to be quite time consuming, so it's probably going to be one of the latter projects that I make. But I'm still determined. I want to finish this survival horror by at least the end of this year, preferably before the PS5 comes out. That's a good target. And one of my other dream friends, Intra Attack Out, he made a first person template, which is really good, and we're going to develop that together, make something more unique. And there's going to be a second game, a full game. It's going to be like a first person horror game. So technically I've got 2 horror games coming out this year, so I think Dreams is going to be very horror focused when you consider how many people are making horror games, you know. I know, man, need time to create. Yeah, finding time, that's the hardest part. I like Resident Evil, Silent Hill and stuff like that. My main influence is books and films, and trying to avoid cliches if possible. It's not always possible though. Yeah, it is quite difficult. I mean, I'm just focusing on trying to make a good, fun game right now. The story's going to be, I'll try and make the story interesting. The enemies are going to be more familiar, but I do have a project that I want to make probably in a few years' time that's going to be more unique once I've got used to sculpting, because I'm going to have to create all the sculpts myself, you know. So I assume you're really looking forward to the Resident Evil 3 remake. I actually put a video out today that was talking about my most anticipated games for this year. I didn't include Dreams because technically I've already got Dreams, so it doesn't really count for me. But things like Resident Evil 3, Final Fantasy 7, The Last of Us Part 2, that's going to be really good. Cyberpunk, and I think Dying Light 2 as well. I'm not sure about the Avengers, because I think the Avengers could be good, could be okay. I've not really seen too much about it yet, so I need to figure out if I'm going to buy that one. What's your favourite arcade game? What is your favourite arcade game? Don't say Pac-Man, because that's a cliche, or Space Invaders, they're cliches. The game we're making is a psychological horror game, but that's all I'm going to say. It's PT, you're making PT. I know it, you're making your own version of PT, I can tell. So would you say that you prefer the psychological elements, like Silent Hill, that sort of type of horror? Sort of messes with your mind and your reality. Probably Robotron. I don't even know. Is that? I'm sure I've heard of a new game that's called Robotron. I don't know if it's a remake or if you like modern arcade games, perhaps. I don't play arcade games that much. I think the last arcade game I really enjoyed was Super Stardust. I used to play that on the PS3. And I had a guy on my friends list who he had like an insane score, and I was determined to beat him. And eventually, once I beat him, he never tried to beat me, and none of my other friends played it. So I got bored. I needed that competition to go for the personal high scores. Wow, that's a difficult one to explain in chat. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you've got time, I suppose. Or you could make a video about it. That would be good. There's a good video idea for you. I'm just waving this around on my legs. Right, I need to think. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? I want the junkyard to be quite narrow, so that if there is a zombie, it's going to be more difficult to actually go around the zombie. I also need to figure out the camera angles, so I was going to start like, maybe there's like a camera angle like that. Once you come out here, I don't know, maybe there's like one that's like looking at you from the car. Maybe that would be a unique camera angle, maybe. So I'll still need to detail pretty much everywhere around the map, you know. I just don't want to duplicate the same things too many times, because it's going to get a bit repetitive. But I'll just try and flesh out the sort of gist of the level, you know, of the scene, I should say. You streaming for long, bro? Let me see, what time is it? Yeah, I guess I'll probably stream for like another hour and a half, maybe. As long as I'm being creative, I guess I'll stick around. Of course, if any of you guys have got any ideas, because I want this to be like a community sort of project. So if you get any ideas for what you think I should add next in the junkyard, or any other details for the game in general, just let me know, and we'll try and build something like this together, even though it's looking a bit nonsense right now. But I really want to start getting more dreams out. I feel like because I focus a lot on YouTube, I sort of neglect the dreams a little bit, because I've only got so much time. I feel like if I dropped YouTube and just focused on dreams, I could maybe have made at least a couple of levels, good couple of levels by now. But you know, you've, like Gribble Grunger knows, you need to prioritise. If you want to be a good YouTuber, you got to be consistent, right? Right. I don't know about you, but this kind of looks like cheese. Like someone made an old car made of cheese, and look, someone started to bite bits out of it. It makes sense, right? Basically, horror isn't about those moments that scare. They're about those moments that don't scare. The dread is created when nothing happens. Yeah, that is true. Your imagination sort of plays tricks on you, and you're just waiting for something to happen, and nothing happens, and then it starts to confuse you, you know, because you watch so many horror movies, and it's like the camera like pans into something, and you're like, oh, something's going to happen, then nothing happens, and then they turn around and there's something there, you know. It's like cliche. And then what I've noticed is that most modern horror movies and stuff, they'll do the cliche where it's like, oh, something's going to happen, oh, nothing happened, turn around, oh, nothing, turn around, oh, nothing, and then they try and like vary it up a bit and try and catch you off guard a bit more. Well, my friend, you're well in for the treat very soon. Oh, very good. What will be the name of the game? This game or Gribble's game? This game, the title is still open for debate, really. All we know is that it's a survival horror game. Takes place, so if you imagine Resident Evil, imagine Raccoon City, right? But the main portion of the game takes place in a hospital, and it's all about test subjects. So they're taking people from the hospital, people who are sick or just patients, or people who have died and went to the morgue, and they've used their bodies to experiment on, and they've tried to create mutations and things. So in my head, I thought maybe a good name for this would be Subject, because it's kind of based on the plot of the game. They are using these people to be test subjects. And back in Little Big Planet, I actually was making a survival horror, and it was called Subject. Completely different setting and characters, but the idea is the same thing. They test on people and create monsters and zombies and things. So, but you know, I'm open to suggestions. I guess once we've developed more of the game and people can see what the gameplay is like and what the story's like, maybe a name will sort of naturally start to come into people's minds, you know. And maybe I'll put up a poll or something on Twitter or YouTube or something just to see what's the most popular name. Okay, cool, I'll be back. Yeah, no problem. Take your time. The moments that scare are there to make you fear nothing. Okay. You have to be brave to pull it off though. Most people aren't. I'm fighting tooth and nail to maintain that philosophy. Oh, okay. So I think like when I use the PT example, most times when I play a horror game these days, they don't really scare me. Maybe some jump scares, but overall they don't really do anything for me. But when I played PT, oh my god, like for someone that was almost immune to horror games, as soon as I played PT, I was like, oh my god, it's going to be good. And sadly, they cancelled it. But I did read a rumour that Konami are trying to make another Silent Hill game. Maybe they want to get Kojima to work on it, who knows. But I do know that Kojima, he wants to make his own horror game potentially with Sony, sort of like what they did with Death Stranding, create another game together. Because I feel like he has the potential to make one of the scariest games ever made. I think that's what he said on Twitter. He's determined to make the scariest games ever. And what he's doing is he's actually watching a lot of scary movies. I think he mentioned some movie, I don't know if it was called The Eye or something. Maybe it's a foreign movie, but he said that he could only watch like half of it and he gave up because he was so scared. So maybe that's a good way to get into the sort of feeling of horror things. Just watch lots of really good horror movies, read horror books, play horror games, just to get your mind prepared, you know. Gets you into the vibe. PT isn't my inspiration. It's drawn from my own experience of writing horror. If I was to compare, it would be something like The Shining. Ah, okay. So something to do with a sort of mystery about what's going on, what's really happening here, you know. What about the gameplay? Like, because there's so many different gameplay angles you could take, like even just like camera perspective, first person, third person, or is it going to be more like an action game, exploration game? Is there going to even be any combat at all? Is there going to be puzzles to solve, things to collect? Will there be voice acting? Will there be cutscenes? If it's going to be a game where it feels like a movie, like The Last of Us, or is it going to be more like a narrative where you kind of need to figure out the story on your own by examining things around the environment? So there's a couple of different ways you could do it, I suppose. Mine's is probably going to be more cinematic, more cutscene heavy, more like a movie, I suppose. But I'll be curious to know what your style is, you know. Right, let me see. So one camera here, one camera here. Let's make a bunch of these palettes, right? Just for fun, right? Just because we can, right? I'll need to make these all. No, that's a bit much. I'll need to make these a lot darker as well, because they're a bit clean. That'll do for now, I think. Maybe put another wee one here. Right, so we go down here. Right, we need to start making this a bit more, a bit more narrow. So let me get one of these again. I've not used one of these in a while. Let's start making the map a little narrow. But I'm going to take this grid off because it's starting to bug me. I like to place things down more freely. Right, this is going to be a very video gamey junkyard, right? It's going to be not so realistic. Let's make that like that. Change the size of a few things. So maybe there's like a crossroad where you can go down this way and you can go down this way. There's like two different paths you can take, maybe. Let me see. How narrow do I want that to be? Maybe turn it around like this. Maybe that's a good... Yeah, try and make the paths as narrow as possible. Let's see here. So it's simple gameplay. It's very narrative driven. The idea is to just make people feel uneasy during their journey through it. Well, that's very nice of you. Yeah, you have to figure out the story. There's lots there. Interesting. So how much did you write? I imagine you wrote like a full booklet. Because I know when you write for video games, it's so much longer than movies. There's so many little details that you can add to games. You know, things that you could miss and you have to play the game several times to pick up on lots of details. Because I know you were playing a level once, I don't know the name. You were basically this girl and she went into this sort of mansion, and upstairs there was like a bed with a chair and there was like pills next to the bed, and I remember you saying something like, oh, that the mother committed suicide, she used the pills, and you sort of looked at the environment to sort of figure that out, you know. So it's like that kind of storytelling. You're using the environment as well to sort of tell a story. Hey Nevi Artist, welcome back. Yeah, we're back to streaming. It's been a few weeks. We've been travelling, so it's we're just getting back into the swing of things. How are you doing? How was your week? Have you made anything new in Dreams? I know you like to make a lot of really detailed paintings. There, what's this? Did you make a typo? It's all in my head. I can see every scene so far and know how I want them presented. I've got the start, the middle and the end. Well, don't spoil it for me. I want to be intrigued. Do you have a timeline for when you plan to maybe not release the game, but to tease in a trailer or to start making videos talking about it? Because I think that's a good idea, by the way. I noticed, I forget the name of the channel, you probably know the guy, but he's making the Avatar game. His channel just blew up. because he's making progress update videos, and they're just blown up, and they're insane. I think he got like 3 million views on one video, and his other views, he's got like tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of views for like every update video. So if you want to promote your game, definitely consider making these project updates. It's going to get people interested in it, so they don't forget about it, and it might give you some good exposure, I guess, outside of the Dreams community as well. Good, just working hard on our treasure hunting game. Ah, okay. So there's another good game that we're waiting on. Do you have any teasers online or any demos that we can see of your treasure hunting game? I have the feeling that this creator wants to crack on, but I'm forever dragging him back to hone earlier areas. It's done when it's as good as we can get it in my mind. Ah, okay. How long do you think it would be? Like, to play from start to finish? A rough estimate of how long do you think this is going to take to complete for the average player? Is it going to be like an hour-long experience, or are you going to go full ambitious and make it like a 5-hour experience? It's RU Rooney Dan. Rooney Dan. Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to read it because I'm at an angle here. It's like Ruroyadin. Rooney Dan, right? I'm just going to call him Wayne Rooney, right? Wayne Rooney Dan. I'm hoping for a good 20 to 30 minutes longer if it's required. Yeah, it's probably more sensible, isn't it? Don't overdo it. I'm definitely going to overdo it. I want this game, because there's 2 characters in this game, you have to play the game twice to experience the full story. So I'm hoping that I can get this game to last like, what, 4 hours for each campaign, maybe less, maybe more, depending on how good people are at survival horror games. The first person horror that I planned, I think that's probably going to take about 3 hours to complete, more or less. Just the way that I've sort of planned it out, each level takes so long, roughly. As long as you're not rushing through the levels. I know that not everyone's going to be so keen to play long games, but the good thing about this is that it saves, right? So you can always come back later and continue. On LBP, you know, you couldn't do that until the Vita, and eventually when they updated Little Big Planet 2 and obviously 3 with the memorizer. But even then, the memorizer was really bad because it could only save so many levels, so it was kind of redundant. Everybody used it, and by the point I played for a few days, it was full and I had to delete it all. So, but I think Dreams is the save system. It's a lot more accessible. It makes a lot more sense. So even if I make a 3-hour game, 5-hour game, people can always come back as long as they don't forget to come back. That's a problem. There's so many Dreams coming out. Will you remember to go back and play something you didn't finish? See, that's the mentality we need to get people into, to return to old things just to experience them again, or to get 100% or whatever. Because I'm guilty of it as well. Like, I'll play a level and I'll just play another level and I'll forget to go back to the old level. There's just so much to play. Maybe if they create an official folder that's got like proper games, proper films, and it's like a library that you can just go through, like Netflix, and you can just go through it, and it's got like the very best of Dreams, you know. I know they pick a lot of levels, but sooner or later all the MM picks, it's going to like clog everything. It's going to be so much to look through. But definitely, I think if anybody makes longer games, it kind of needs to be celebrated, I think. I have a video showing a bit, but can't show much because the treasure locations are visible. Damn it, I wanted to cheat. What kind of a treasure game is it? Are we talking like Pirates? Or are we talking more Uncharted? What kind of a treasure game is this? Wow, good luck with that. Yeah, tell me about it. But I feel like in Dreams, I keep saying this because my cousin, he wants to get into Dreams, and I keep saying to him, like, when you're making a level or a game or whatever, you could technically make a game like really quickly, or a movie really quickly. It would be awful, but you can do it, like a really rough version, and then you can always come back to it and add detail later. So it is possible to make like a... I mean, we saw Daniel, let's not forget Daniel. He made like a 20-hour game, and he probably made it in like 2 weeks. So it's possible, it's possible. But obviously I do share your idea. I want some quality first. I don't want to just throw things out there for the sake of it. The smaller projects that I'm working on, those things last like 10-15 minutes to complete. So like that alien cutscene I showed you last time, that level's nearly finished, and it's not going to take that long to complete. In those levels I'm not really focusing too much on the polish, because I just want to get it done and move on to the next thing. But the big projects, certainly I'll try and put some obsessive detail into it. And what's good is that you can probably test the level yourself and then give me all of the feedback, and because you're a perfectionist, you know. Hey Swickfo, welcome back. It's been a few weeks, hasn't it? Nice to see you again. Hope you're having a good week. What have I missed? To be honest, it's been mostly chat. We've been mostly talking about horror projects. Gribble Grunger, he's working on a horror project. Nivy Artist, he's working on a treasure hunting game. Reckley, he's working on another horror game, a character and a mini game. So yeah, we're pretty much just getting into the horror vibe right now. And I sort of made a tiny bit more of this scene, not much. The progress today has been quite slow. I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to design the level first. I guess looking from it from afar, that's quite good, so you can sort of have a god's eye view of everything. I basically wanted to make 2 paths, so it's not so linear. And I definitely want to put a zombie at some point. Maybe the zombie can like come out of the rubble, you know, crawl out and try and attack you from somewhere. Community assets are hidden throughout the level. Oh, good. So you're sort of promoting other people's assets as well. That's good. Saves you a lot of time making your own things as well. That's what I liked about the Uncharted games, like exploring and trying to find all of the extra little bits and pieces, you know. Excuse me. Excuse the repetition here. I'm just trying to get like a rough sort of pathway, I guess. Because I don't know yet how this is all going to look in the end. That's nice, right? Like that, right? Give a bit of curvature. I still need to put in some key items, so I'm like, let me just delete this stuff. This is not part of the same scene. This is an old scene. I just kept it for the logic and stuff in case I need to take anything. So there's a wee fence here. Maybe I use the fence here. Maybe put a bunch of these cars at the back, maybe. I don't know. I'm just brainstorming here. So I think like maybe if you go this way, this is the right way to go, and then this is like get to the entrance of the garage. The garage, good old garage. That's another thing, we need tires. And the first thing that comes up is music, not an actual tire. Right, that's exactly what we're looking for, and there's only two creations. I think that's what's also good about these streams, or creating in general. You get to find out what objects we're lacking, you know. So if you ever see anything in a scene, and you think, oh, no one's made this, then you could make it. I think there's been plenty of times before where we've tried to look for something, we couldn't find it, and people ended up making it just to have it, you know. Right, how big are tyres these days, right? We want enough tyres, right, that you could fit your body in it, right? And he's quite a thin guy, so I don't think the tyres need to be that big. Right, that'll do. That'll do. I mean, they're kind of bigger than these tyres, but I'm going to replace these cars at some point because I think they're a bit too basic. But I need to get good at sculpting first before I can properly do that. What have I missed here? Want to promote asset creators. Yeah, that's a good idea. I think because this is what I'm doing. Like, every asset that I've used is all from the community. Right now, when I make drafts of things, I don't really waste time making my own stuff. Like, I could have made these pallets, right? But these pallets, what's the point in me making that? Just use it from the community. Same with this car. Like, I know I want a car here. Maybe not this car, but as long as it is a car, it does the job for now. And all of this pile of rubble and stuff, and all these cars and stuff, I would just waste my time making them. So I'm going to try and use as many community assets as I can, so it saves me a lot of time. And then when I go back over the level, once it's playable, I'm going to go back and I'm going to try and sculpt my own unique assets. Like back in the street scene, I want to make my own buildings. I want to personalise them, because it's hard to find personalised buildings in Dreams so far. Different stores and things. Maybe make the tyres physical so you can knock them over if you walk into them. Be quite cool. Yeah, it could be a good idea. The only problem I would have with that is that if I knock the tyres over, I don't want it to block my pathway, you know. I guess I'll see how I develop the level first. Hey Junkyard, is that you joined the party?
Yes, it is.
Uh-oh. Mrs. Green Day hasn't appeared, but maybe she's watching.
The party starts right here.
Oh yeah. So how are you?
I'm just on a quick visit because something's came up, so...
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I just thought I'd come on and told you that I was busy.
Ah, okay. Yeah, we're just making the rest of this junkyard.
Right.
Just getting all the assets.
Yeah,
it's for the second character. Because
okay.
I've excluding detail, I've mostly finished the first character's intro section. So from the alleyway, the streets, the job centre, and the leading up to the hospital, I've sort of laid out that path. So now the second character, now it's about how does he get to the hospital, you know. So I wanted to focus on the streets and all the buildings around the streets first, and then when I get to the hospital, I can just focus on the hospital. So I can sort of, I think it makes more sense. Have you made any more progress with your own Resi level?
Nah, I've not played it at all.
Nothing at all?
No.
Is that just
lost interest?
No, you've had enough?
I could probably go back to it, but I managed to get a hold of an Xbox on the January sales.
Oh, okay.
For like £100, so
I guess that's not too bad.
I've been playing that a lot with boys. I know I've been playing GTA quite a lot.
Oh, okay.
So,
just more interesting things have came up.
Yeah, okay, it's just I don't really know, like I don't really speak to a lot of people on PlayStation apart from like yourself knowing, but on Xbox there's like 6-7 of us that play at one time.
Yeah. Is that why you were saying that you're going to get the next Xbox then?
Okay, I've not decided, it all really depends on exclusives, what exclusives are announced.
Yeah.
But I think if the rumour's true where the Xbox is going to be able to play Steam games, that's a big.
You think so?
Yeah, I doubt it'll be real, but if it is real, I think that's quite a big thing.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind being able to play PC games as well, but I've never really been into PC games. It's just like some games maybe. Problem is, I don't really like using a keyboard and mouse. Like, a lot of people criticise the playing with controllers, but I don't know, it just feels natural to me. Like, whenever I use a keyboard and mouse, like, my hands feel really weird, you know, and I feel like I need to, you know, stretch my fingers sometimes.
I prefer console as well, but it would just be good to having, like, I just want to play Counter-Strike, do you know what I mean? And I don't want to go out and buy a gaming PC just to play it.
Do you have to get a gaming PC these days to play that?
Pretty much, yeah.
Is it more advanced these days?
Probably about a £500 computer, at least.
Ah, okay. Yeah,
to enjoy it and not open pure crappy.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a decent laptop, but I've had this for maybe 5 years now, so it's definitely outdated. So I can't really play too much, or it'll just lag, you know. Hello, Valiant Lion. How are you doing today? Hope you're having a good week. Welcome to the stream. We're making progress on the Junkyard section of our little survival horror game. Still early days. Still putting in the details. Try to work on the level design. So all of this might change. Right now, I've got an idea where I want you to come here. There's two options. You can go this way or you can go that way. I don't know if I'm going to make it where one way gives you an item maybe, or if it's just an option of what side you want to go on. Maybe there's a couple of zombies on one side and you want to take the other route to avoid them or something. Yeah, I think it's a rumour at the moment, but if Xbox can play Steam games, it'll definitely be a draw to buy a Series X over PS5. It's a really weird name, isn't it? Series X.
Yeah, I think they're going to bring out like a different version of it, like so there's like Series X or Series
Y
S or something.
Y and Z.
Like that, yeah, like a more powerful version. I really don't know, but
okay.
Yeah, I hope they have both of them at some point, but just not straight away.
Yeah.
I don't know. It all depends. Like, say Resident Evil, Capcom came out and revealed Resident Evil was only going to be available for PS5, or GTA came out and said that they were only going to reveal it for the Xbox, release it for the Xbox.
So
you know what I mean? It's
just the exclusives and that.
Yeah, it just depends. Like, what's on offer.
Yeah, I mean, I've always preferred the PlayStation exclusives. Like, I've never really been interested in Halo or Gears of War. I don't know, they're alright, but they're not like, oh, I need to buy an Xbox to play these games. The only game that I got an Xbox for was the 360. It was for the Left 4 Dead 1 and 2. Because at the time, I didn't have this laptop, so my laptop wasn't that good before. So I couldn't play it without it having extreme frame rate problems. So I got it was like a cheap Elite. I think it was like £120 maybe at the time. So and it came with one of the games, so it was not too bad.
Not bad. Well, it's probably going to be more likely that I get the PS5 because you've got God of War 2 coming out and another Spider-Man game and all that, so there's a good chance that I'll probably get the PS5 first and then maybe get the Xbox the following year when it comes down.
Yeah.
Hopefully it comes down a little.
Hopefully. I mean, what's the current Xbox, the price? Is it already down or is it still quite expensive?
Well, you can get an Xbox for like £150.
Okay.
Like without any sales, but as I says, I got mine for 100. Like,
is this the Pro version or is this the old version?
You can get an Xbox One S or an Xbox One X.
So confusing.
The X is obviously more, but it's like your PS4 or your PS4 Pro basically.
Okay.
So I managed to get a hold of the Xbox One X, but it was only because I was doing a, a trade-in deal.
Oh, okay. Gonna stick a wee zombie here. She's waiting for you. Yeah, I think when I got my Xbox 360 it was just to play Left 4 Dead 1 and 2, and then I think when the first Mass Effect game, when it was exclusive, I played it there. But that was it.
See, I've still never played any Mass Effect games, but I've noticed on the Xbox Game Pass I can play them all if I want.
You should. The first game is like, the combat is more like an RPG game. Like, you shoot people, but it doesn't always do damage. You know.
Yeah.
It's more random, and the cover system's not very good. But it's got a good story and stuff. So if you can ignore all the side stuff, just do the main story, and it's good. But the second and the third game, it's like a proper third-person shooter game. It's almost not even an RPG anymore, because like you can still put your stats up, but in the first game it was like you had to change like different weapons and stuff. The second game it's more simple, you know. And the side quests in the second and third game are quite good, because they feel like main missions. They have their own cutscenes and stuff. Whereas the first game it was just stupid stuff like fetch quests. And it's quite good. Like the second game, it's like they encourage you to do the side quests, because the more side quests you do, the more affinity that you gain with your squad mates. Because there's a, like when you get to the final mission, it's like depending on how close you are with people, it depends on how well they perform in the final mission. So if you didn't do a mission with a side mission with a certain character, then you know maybe they don't perform so well.
Yeah. Did you ever play the latest one?
Andromeda? Nah, not yet. Because it's meant to be by the B team, and it's not meant to be as good. Let me just have a quick look at some of the comments I missed here. I like the rust and the dirt texture. Looks on the Junkyard so far very well done. Yeah, it looks pretty nice. I mean, it's all different creators that made all of these assets, so I just need to like figure out what I'm going to do with the ground. Right now I can like change the colour obviously, but I mean what's a good colour? Like dirt colour maybe? I don't know. See, I don't even know how this works properly, you know. Take away the saturation. Still need to get used to all these options and stuff. I think I'll make it like that. I think as long as it's not grey, I think it looks a bit better. I'll eventually start adding little details on the ground later, I guess. Yes, very good. Thank you. I am very hyped for your project. Oh, very good. It's going to be the best classic survival horror game you'll find in Dreams this year. I guarantee it. I'll have Junkyard to back me up on that.
Yep, it's going to be absolute amazing.
Yep.
You're going to be screaming for more.
You're going to be screaming for more. It's going to be so good that you're just not going to play Resident Evil ever again. You're just going to play this game. It's what I can guarantee is that it's going to be better than Resident Evil Outbreak. I can guarantee that at least, even though that might not be that hard. Did you play an old level Resident Evil Classic? I made it. I love old school horror survival. That's you? Oh yeah, I did. I played the Resident Evil Classic and I played the Mercenaries mode. I played both to the end. I completed both. Very well made. I think, to be honest, I think yours is like one of the only classic survival horror games in Dreams. That's why I wanted to make this, because no one else was making a classic survival horror. So if I can make at least one more, then that'll be good. But this won't be a Resident Evil game. It's going to be influenced a lot by Resident Evil, and I guess some components will be similar, but it's going to have its own story, its own characters. All the level design is completely original, but it has the spirit of Resident Evil, let's say. Let me see here. What is the lighting like? The lighting right now, I haven't even done the lighting. This is just like the default lighting I was using for the previous scene. So as you can see, it's just the night sky and the car lights. That's all we've got so far. But don't worry, we'll figure out the lighting. It'll probably be like one of the last things we do, to be honest. I don't know why, but I love putting fire in my level. Even Junkyard, he likes putting fire everywhere.
I just think it's easy to cover things,
like,
yeah. Yeah.
So I've been doing with these big what is this anyway? It's like junk. It's like, if you really look at all this stuff, like, none of it makes sense. It's not very realistic, but I don't think hopefully people don't pay too much attention. I know Gribble, he'll pay extreme attention to this. He'll be like, what is this? This does not look like a proper junkyard. What are these things? This does not impact the story. Let me see here. I heard that Dreams might be coming to PC very soon. Where did you hear that? Who said that? Was that a rumour, or did someone official say something?
Scott, I need to boost just now, mate, but I'll speak to you soon, okay?
Okay, right. Take care.
Right,
see you later. That'll be interesting to see what happens then with the PC version, because is it going to be a version on its own that's going to be more powerful, or is it just going to be the same as the PS4, PS5 game? Right, but it would be nice to open up the community more. I put a Dreams video on Tuesday, and one of the commenters said that it would be good to make Dreams free to play, because then you're giving more people access to the game. You've been able to create so much more, really make the community thrive because so many people have access to it. Obviously they would have to make money elsewhere. It's an interesting idea to think maybe in the future, because I don't think they can sell this game as full price forever, because I think it really comes down to the creations that everyone makes. So hopefully this can be one of the games. Someone made this amazing survival horror game. It's got 2 playable characters, you know, they each have their own story mode, and it feels like a Resident Evil game. The controls are really good, and then people will be like, oh, I need to buy Dreams. I want to buy Dreams to play this game, and then I can play all the other games, and then I can create my own games, and then it's like a snowball effect. They'll recommend it to their friends, and what they create might inspire other people to buy the game. And this game really hinges on sort of the top quality creations. That's why I want to make more games, because I feel like the levels really good, but games, I think that would blow people's mind if you could actually make proper full games in Dreams. Mass Effect Trilogy remaster soon, please. See, I don't know if the guy still works there, but there was a guy that was like the head of EA, and he said, we're not going to make a Mass Effect Trilogy remaster. We don't believe in remasters, so we're not going to do it. And then they released Burnout Paradise remastered. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense at all. It's so stupid. Like, of all the games they could have remastered, Mass Effect would have been perfect. I would have bought that game again. I would have bought that trilogy easily to play it on the PS4. Better frame rate, slightly better graphics. All the DLC would have been perfect. But that's EA for you. They're quite stupid, you know. How difficult is this to make a game on Dreams? Well, I guess that's debatable, because to make a game, like a good game, you need to practice and learn and have some experience. But to actually make a game in general, it's not that hard, to be honest. Like, the length is going to be the hardest part. Like, to make a long game, because you need to put more time into it, you need to have more ideas, and it's obviously super time consuming. Because people will release a game and it's like 30 minutes long. It's still a game, right? It's perfectly playable. It's got lots of levels, stages. But yeah, it's not hard. Like the thermal for each scene, you have to be more creative, because you can't make your game all in one scene, you know. You have to like manage, like, okay, like I'm doing, like this Junkyard is going to be one scene, and then once you go through into the next area, it's a separate scene, and so on. So there's going to be a lot of loading between each scene, but if you ignore the loading, then you can make huge games with tons of scenes, tons of areas. If you want to make an open world game, it's still possible. You just need to be more intelligent about how you do it, because you have to reuse the same assets. You can't put too much logic in an area. Because I was thinking about when I make an RPG game in the future, hopefully, I thought about how would I make an open world, and I thought, right, okay, I'll make an open world, right, and it's got the initial sort of quests and things, the initial enemies and things, and then once you progress far enough in the story, it's the same open world, but I take all the logic out and I replace that with like a part 2 logic. So it's got more quests, more monsters, that kind of thing. So it's like scene 1 open world, scene 2 open world again, you know, part 2. So it's about how can I use the same open world but put it in a different scene, and each scene has different quests and things. So it makes it appear like all of these quests are taking place in the same open world, but they're not. It's a separate scene, you know. So you need to really think about it and plan out exactly how you're going to make each scene, you know. But it's not so complicated. Thank you, glad to hear it. Yeah, it was a good level, good couple of levels. Let's just call it. Is that a typo, or did you mean that? Esident Revo. Esident Revo. What other kind of evil do we have? So we've got Resident Evil, we've got the Evil Within. What other evil do we have? That's what we need to think of. When you think about the name Resident Evil, it's such a stupid name, Resident. Like, it's weird, but it works because it's so iconic. But I'll need to think of a name, a good name, and I want to have the iconic sort of voice that plays, you know, when you press start game and it says the name of the game, and that kind of zombified evil voice. Just push that fog back for Gribble. You know what? I'm going to make extra fog, because this is a horror game, so we're going to have lots of fog. By the way, I don't even know how you push back the fog. Like, I've not even got to that stage yet. How do you push back fog? Is there like a setting somewhere that has fog? I assume there is. I don't know. Hopefully you don't see the fog in the end. And mute the damn imp. Yeah, hopefully you'll never see the imp. You'll never see the imp in the game. Hopefully. Because having to like control puppets and things kind of takes you out of the experience a little bit. So yeah, in my games you're probably never going to see the imp, other than maybe when a scene starts. Sometimes you see the imp because it has to possess the character, like just that split second, but apart from that I think that's it. Maybe you have to survive the game in under 3 minutes. Have a timer on the screen for Gribble. Is that some kind of inside joke? I need to like create lots of helpful HUD elements and things. That'll be the thing, like when I'm creating the main the menu, the inventory system, where the item placements are, how I display all of that stuff. So I still need to create a HUD and inventory and things. So and tutorials to help people. So like say excuse me, there's an item. Say there's an item like here. Now do I just put the item there and it's up to you to press X on everything just to see what you can pick up and what you can't pick up? Or do I make it less realistic and I put like a sparkle on the object, so it's like, oh, it's clear there's an item there. For some people that might be too easy, because if there's like sparkly things everywhere it's so easy to find. Or do I take that out? I don't know. But I was thinking of adding a difficulty setting, because since this is Dreams, not everybody's buying this to play survival horror games, so I think I want to have an easy mode and a classic mode. So the classic mode, maybe the items aren't so clearly visible. You have to actually search and click on things, and the difficulty is going to be not super difficult, but you can die basically, and less ammo. And in easy mode, maybe the pistol has infinite ammo. The items are more visible, so it's easy, you can just pick it up and play through the game. Because normally survival horror games, they need to be quite difficult, right? But I still want people to enjoy the game and enjoy the story, so I'll put an easy mode in for those people. It's up to them if they want to play the game on easy. That's up to them. But I'm sure most people that are looking forward to this, or they want to play a survival horror game, they will play the classic mode to get the proper experience. Let me just catch up here with some comments. Hey Popular Parts the Great, I'm going to make an Ant-Man game when I get Dreams. Oh, that sounds cool. That does sound cool, and you can do a lot of interesting platform sections with that, based on if you're big or small, or if you need to fly, or things like that. Hey, welcome back, Reckley. Go to the sun and set the fog to 10,000. 10,000? That's really high. Is that how far it needs to be? To just not be visible at all? Maybe we should vote on a name as a collective. Yeah, definitely. I mean, like, give me all your suggestions. What do you want this to be called? Like I said earlier in the stream, all we know so far from this is it's a survival horror. There's two different characters. They make their way through the streets, and the main part of the game is in the hospital. In the hospital, they've been taking patients, sick patients, or they've been taking people and putting them back into the hospital after experimenting on them, or they've took the corpses from the morgue and they've experimented on those. So that's why I thought the name could be something like Subject, because it's like test subjects. Maybe it sounds okay, but that's really the only story point I've got so far. So just imagine Resident Evil, but they're using people from the hospital to do these experiments on. So it's like the name doesn't really need to be relevant to the plot. It can be its own thing, because if we ever do make a sequel, we don't want to be tied down by the name. Like, oh, the name was like this, so it has to be relevant to the name. You know, like Silent Hill, you have to make it in Silent Hill, otherwise it doesn't make sense. Resident Evil, it's very general. So at any point through this whole process, if you've come up with any decent names, it's going to be difficult to try and think of something that's not so cliche, you know, because cliche names are very easy to come up with, you know. So if we can think of something, and as soon as we get enough popular suggestions, I'll make a poll on Twitter, make a poll on YouTube, and just see what people are liking the most, and then we'll just go with the most popular one, really. Go to the Sun and Sky gadget. Ah, yeah. Second page at the bottom. Set fog to 10,000. Yeah, 10,000 seems to be a popular number. Let me see here. I hate timers in games. You hate timers in games? Well, guess what? At the end of the game, there's going to be an explosion. They're going to destroy the city, and there's going to be a timer, and you've got 20 minutes to get out of the city, or you lose your save file. Delete your save file if you do not make it out in time. I'm talking from experience. Prompts, it needs to be spelled out for some. Ah, okay. So based on your horror level, people were complaining, like, what do I do? Where do I go? Yeah, it's a shame because you don't want to overload the HUD or the environment with so many details. You want people to play it like a normal game, not like, oh, you need to press X here and you know. Because it's like, if I play Resident Evil, when you pick up an item, it doesn't have an X above every item, because it kind of breaks the immersion if you keep putting buttons everywhere, you know, because it's more of like a realistic game. So like, maybe I can put an option in, like, do you want a clear HUD for items, so something that sparkles, and press X to pick up this item. Like, if they want that, fair enough, but I think the default, I'll make some items more visible, but I don't think I'm going to put button presses. Like, if you go to a door, I'm not going to be like, press X to open this door. I'm just going to be like, hey, the button X is to interact with doors, items, scenery. You press X and that's it. That's all you need to know. So, but yeah, take your point on board that most people want their hand held for everything. It's going to be a lot of testing once this is in a testing phase. I'm going to make 2 demos, 1 demo for each character, so before the full game comes out, I'll put the demos out, people can tear it to shreds, and then I'll figure out how I'm going to alter the rest of the game. What's your thoughts? What are your thoughts on Cyberpunk 2077? I think it looks really good. It's been delayed for so long. I hope it's really good. It looks a lot like an action version of Deus Ex. I love Deus Ex. So the ability just to create your own character and choose how you want to tackle each mission. If you want to be stealthy or be more aggressive, or if you want to hack things or whatever. I think it's good to give you that option, and they always create a decent story in their games with The Witcher, so hopefully it's got a good story. Keanu Reeves, he's in it, so hopefully it's interesting. And but the thing is, do you buy it on the PS4 or do you wait for the inevitable PS5 version? Because it's clear that it's coming out in September, and the PS5 must be like at least November. So do you wait or not? I don't know, because you want the best experience, right? Hey Scamcos, how are you? Have to sparkle when you're within 1 meter. Yeah, that's a good idea. Maybe the proximity, the closer you are, then you appear, so you don't see something in the distance sparkling. Yeah, that's a good idea actually. I'll experiment with that. A sparkle or maybe a slight glint might look less obnoxious and cheesy. Yeah, just a little. Maybe even the colours, like the environment can sort of blend together, but the colours of the important objects, they maybe stand out a bit more. They're a bit more vibrant, maybe a bit more obvious. Yeah, I'll need to put a little glint. How would you even do a glint? Like, see when you see an object in Resident Evil and it's like, it's got like a little flash, a little sparkle or something. Like, what's the best way to do that? Like, I could just animate flecks, like going from one side to the other. But I don't know if there's a better way to do it. Because in Little Big Planet it would have been easy, because you could use like the see-through material and just use that, you know. But in Dreams I don't work with flecks, so I need to find out a good way to actually learn how to do these effects. in Dreams. Hey Beetlebum, how are you doing? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a good week. Let me just catch up here. It's great that everybody knows each other. That's what it's all about, right? Bringing the community together. Seeing some old friends. Virus of the Dead. Oh, that's good. Like I said, every suggestion, just let me know and I'll write it down. Because I kind of need the ideas. So let me put this down. Virus of the Dead. Yeah. There we go. Idea 1 is in the bank. You got to make it out of the fog in under a minute. Yeah, maybe that's a good horror game for Gribble. I think you'd be terrified if you made a level that was just full of fog. I think you'd be like, oh my god. You could make it. You could literally call the level the fog. The fog, and it's got a timer. So yeah, it's going to be his worst nightmare. I cannot stand HUD. Yeah, I get what you mean. I'm going to try and make the HUD as limiting as possible. But some people like the HUD, so I might have to actually put a HUD in the game. But I don't know how easy it is to do the. I guess it would be quite easy. Just use tags. So like, do you want a HUD? Yes or no? Yes, I do. No, I don't. Do a separate tag, and then it activates the HUD, or it doesn't activate the HUD. So it should be quite easy to customize. So I'll give people the option. Do you want a HUD? Do you want items to be more obvious? Do you want enemies to be easier? Do you want your gun to have infinite ammo? For the pistol, just the pistol. I'll give people options just so they can customize their own experience. That's up to them, you know. So if people want a more realistic, hardcore experience, just play classic mode and leave the easy mode for other people. The subjects. So yeah, that's like taking my idea, the subject, but then this subjects, yeah. So I'll put the subjects. Because the original idea on Little Big Planet, when I had the subject game, the survival horror game, and I think it was LBP2. Basically, you were in a facility and it was like all these test subjects, and you get to know all of these different people. They sort of become your companions and stuff, and as you're all trying to work together to escape the facility. And then naturally, like one by one, each of them start to transform into a different boss character. So that was just the idea. They're all subjects. There was like 8 subjects, including you, and you were trying to find a cure as well as escape. But in this game, it's different story, different idea, but it's got the same vibe where there are subjects, because it's in the hospital, people get infected, and all of the main bosses and all of the more dangerous creatures, they are directly from these special subjects, and the zombies are just the collateral damage for the virus or whatever that spread. Let me see here. Call it, oh, I've been bitten. That's a good idea. That's a very good idea. Oh, I've been bitten. Damn it, I was so close to retiring. It was, I was just one day away. Definitely. No doubt, I'll add that option as a joke option, and that'll be the option that everyone chooses. And then I'll have no choice but to call it that. People will think it's a comedy, and then they play this game and they're like, this is really serious, this is nothing like the title. Cyberpunk looks incredible. Oh yeah, it does. Looks really, really good. I've actually seen a couple of Cyberpunk creations in Dreams, and even they look really nice. I'm waiting for the PS5 version. Either way, I'm waiting to play it on the PS5. Yeah, I mean, it's going to have a better performance. Load times will be really good. I think when they tested Spider-Man, each fast travel lasted like 2 seconds. I think on the PS4 it lasts like, I don't know, 15 seconds. So the load times will definitely be one reason to buy the PS5 version. I think button prompts look better on the bottom right side of the screen. Alright, so like down here. I'll need to experiment and see what people think of the HUD and things, because I don't want to put too many things on the screen, like your health bar and ammo, and I'm not going to do that. You'll have to press like the inventory to see your health and your ammo and stuff. Try to minimise it as much as possible. A small loving community we are, yes, yeah. That's a good thing about Dreams, isn't it? Doesn't matter where you go, what video you go to, what stream you go to, you kind of meet the same people, right? It's good. You could give them a subtle glow effect in the object options. Yeah, that's a good idea as well. A little glow effect. I think that would save me having to animate something myself. Or just call it the bitten. Or chomp. Chomp sounds like a good idea for a cartoon character. My name's Chomp. And you go around chomping all of the level. You could chomp off trees, you could chomp buildings, chomp cars. That's a good idea, I think. I'm actually writing all these down, by the way. Even if they're ridiculous, I'm writing them all down. Because this could be like a spin-off. The Chomp. The Chomped. Exactly, assuming the PS5 will be natively 4K with ray tracing and maybe a full 60 frames per second. I think so. I think it needs to be 60. It's powerful enough to do it by now, surely. Definitely won't be seeing that on the base PS4. Just wait until the PS5 release, yeah. Sadly, I create on Dreams on the base PS4, so I don't know if the Pro is, how much better the Pro is in terms of graphics and detail and the thermal, I don't know, but I was playing a level once and it was lagging, like the frame rate was really bad, and someone else played it on the Pro and it didn't lag at all, it was flawless, it was perfect. So I said to the person, like, if you want me to test your level, because I'm on a base PS4, so if you're making a game on Dreams and you're making it on a PS4 Pro, you might not know how it affects the base PS4. It might actually be quite bad. So that's why I was offering people, I'll play your Pro levels and I'll see if they have any frame rate problems or anything. And then when the PS5 comes out, when it's backwards compatible, or if they make a new edition of Dreams for the PS5, you're going to have to consider the PS5, the power of the PS5, the PS4 Pro, and the base PS4, you know. So it's going to be a headache to try and make sure it works across all three different machines. Hey Richard Ortiz. Try to make an animation when you check your ammo or your health, the character checks himself. That's quite an interesting idea. I once had an idea where it was like your body actually physically looks like it's damaged, so like you have to actually like bandage up your arm or take an injection, or you know, like get blood off your face or whatever, to make it more visual. But yeah, that's a good idea. I'll experiment when I get to that point and see if it looks quite good. Hey Pixel Turner, meep to you too. Got to shoot for a while. I'll be back after 8 PM. What time is it just now anyway? It's almost 8 o'clock. It's almost getting late. Yeah, I'll probably stream for like a wee bit longer because I've got to go back to work. I'll try and finish this Junkyard. At least finish the basic idea for it. I'm going to take some more of these. Take some more of these tires around here. See, I don't know. I still need to figure out why you would come around this way, because there's a zombie here, right? So you don't want to go this way. This is a really tight, cramped area, and there's a zombie. So people are probably going to think, oh, we'll go this way. I don't know if I should make this like a dead end. So it's like you have to come this way to get an item, and then you're forced to come back this way. I think that's the way I want to do it. I think you need to go both ways. Because if you go this way, it's like, you can avoid the zombie. Maybe there's something else here. But I don't know, I don't see the point. I don't see the point. Let me just block it and see how it looks. It looks stupid, but right. So maybe there's going to be like an item or something around this sort of section. I think it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Put some extra tires here, right? Maybe there's a wee item, a key or something. I don't know. Maybe there's like a body or something. And the guy has like has some keys or something. I don't know. Just an idea. I'll copy this zombie over just to. I'm so lazy to animate right now, right? So let's just do this, right? Face first, right? So the zombie's like that. There you go. It'll be better once I animate, don't worry. Because I don't want to start animating because I'm not even sure that I want to use this zombie. I might change, or maybe make my own zombies. Because I think that'll be quite good to play this, and everything's a bit more unique. I've got my own zombies, and because if you look at the face of this zombie, it's pretty anime looking. I only used it because it looked quite cool, like here, the torso and stuff, the waist I should say. But there's loads of zombies out there that I could use, no doubt. But I definitely want to get good at sculpting so I can make my own zombies. I think it would be pretty cool. I'm just going to put some barrels here just to vary it up a little bit. That's it really, you know. Nothing too important. So yeah, there's going to be some item here. Maybe the zombie's got something in the pocket or something. Maybe the zombie comes alive. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out. Maybe, like, I know you mentioned the tires could fall down. Maybe when you get to this section, the zombie moves and the tires fall, and then it sort of crawls towards you. And you need to kill it first before you can take the item. The problem is with having the item in the zombie, would people know there's an item in the zombie? Because most of the time you don't pick items up from bodies, you just pick them up from the environment. So I'm going to have to make it clear that there's an item being dropped by the zombie. So maybe I don't do that. Maybe that's not such a good idea, you know. Maybe I can fool people. I can make like an extra zombie here, right? So you've got one eye on this zombie, right? But you're looking at that zombie, and then that zombie's moving, and you're like, oh, is that zombie going to come alive at some point? Maybe maybe put like a couple of zombies, you know, like, because you don't know if they're going to come alive or not. See, that's what I liked about the Evil Within. You had to burn the zombies. So basically, you could waste a match to burn the zombie, or you could actually kill a zombie that was going to come to life. So it's like a risk reward kind of thing. So that's what I want to do here. I want to try and make some zombies that don't animate, or maybe it's random. Maybe they will animate for some people, maybe they won't. Maybe that's a good feature. So if you play this game for the second time and you think, oh, that zombie doesn't come alive, this one doesn't come alive, it's just this one, maybe on your second playthrough maybe all of them come alive. Maybe that's a good way to do it. So it's not so scripted, it's more randomized. So I mean, this looks okay. It looks okay. So we start here, we're tied up, we break free. camera angle like here. Then we come here. I'll experiment with the camera angles. Maybe there's a camera angle inside this car, just to vary it up a little bit. Then when you come here, there's going to be you've got two options, two different routes you can take. So go down this route. We need to go around this route first. Maybe the zombies attack you, maybe they don't. Pick up the key or something from this zombie here. Come around here. Oh no, there's a zombie, it's blocking our way, it's too tight, I can't run past. So you can either kill the zombie or wait till it chases you and then go around. I'm sure you know what to do if you've played survival horror games. I don't know if I'm going to add much more to these sort of areas. Just add duplicate tires, I guess. And then once you get to this section, I'm going to make a building like here, but I'm going to have to build it from scratch because if you look at the buildings that most people have made, they're very generalised. Some aren't that detailed, so it's kind of hard to find what you're looking for. So I'm going to have to build all the buildings myself to make it more customised. I hope they add thermal improvements on the PS5 version of Dreams later on down the line. Will be a shame if they are held back by PS4 specs in 5 years from now. Yeah, hopefully, because that's the big problem they had with Little Big Planet 3. When it came out for the PS4, they made the PS3 version, and that really held back the PS4 version. So hopefully when they make the PS5 version, they kind of, you don't want to split the community, but you want to make even better quality things, right? So I think if you make a PS5 version, it needs to be more dedicated. Otherwise, the PS4 players are going to hold us back. But I think anybody that wants Dreams, they're going to buy the PS5 version. They're always going to want the better version, more powerful version. Especially if all the latest games are coming from the PS5 version. Yeah, block it and put the item there. Yeah, we'll see if it works. Pixel in the house, Pixel the rave starter. Could maybe show a mini cutscene of the item falling from the zombie. Yeah, that's a good idea actually. Yeah, make sure that people actually see that it's there. Maybe that it's in the zombie's hand or something. So when you kill it, it goes like, oh, and it drops the key or something. And then maybe the camera angle can be like, you go to pick up the key and those two zombies behind you, they start to get up and they start to walk towards you or something. So you're like, ah, come on, cutscene, finish, I need to run away from these zombies. Or have a feature where you can loot all zombies. Yeah, I'll need to think about it, how I'm going to do it. Am I going to do it like, because like if you loot all the zombies to find bullets, for example, it's like, does everybody just carry bullets in their pockets? Like, I know you're trying to, it's a survival, so maybe everybody does have bullets in their pockets, I don't know. But I would have to vary it up, like what's in their pockets. It'll be more like a video gamey kind of thing, where you're picking up items that are not so realistic, but it is a video game, right? So I'll need to figure out if I'm going to have looting zombies. I wasn't going to. I was going to just put the items around the area, but maybe you can loot some. I'll think about it and I'll see if it works. Or the cutscene could zoom in on the barrels to show the key on them. Yeah, it could be one of those. So the zombie, loot all zombies, or it's in the environment. Yeah, got a lot of experimenting to do, but gameplay side of things, I've still really to work on it. So it may be a good few streams before I start implementing all the gameplay. I just want to get all the environments done. I've got the first character's environments almost done. The details not so great in some scenes. Once I get the second character's environments done, before we get to the hospital, I'll do all the gameplay, and that way I can make a demo for both characters. And then when I'm working on the hospital, I can release the demos and see what people think. try to find a good. I'm not. See, I want to get a building that you can go into, but something that looks more like a mechanics. Like this does not look like a mechanics, you know. It does not. So I'm definitely going to have to build my own stuff. This looks quite nice actually. I'm not going to use it right now, but what happened to the windows? I thought the windows looked a lot better from the picture. Right, is there anything I can use? Any small building? Oh, City Hall, that looks quite cool. That looks really nice. What else have we got? It's just your luck really if you find anything that's relevant. A low thermal tool building toolkit. Stone building with a sign. Maybe that'll do for now. That'll be good for the city actually, this one. That looks like proper city. Oh, that looks quite good. It's European though. I think this game's going to be set in America, so. Yeah, I'm not finding too much. Just to save time, because I'm going to have to build my own building anyway, so whatever I choose doesn't really matter. I'll just use this for now, even though we're not going to use it. Just a placeholder for now, right? Hold on, let me just can I sort this out? Just a placeholder, just to make it look like there's a building you can go into. I'll just here's the raving Mr. X. He's going for a wee dance. He's like the last boss. Let me see, can I duplicate this door? Yes I can. Let's just use this door, right? This'll do for now. There we go, right? That'll do for now, right? Can we find shutters? Did somebody make shutters? That would be good. Yep, somebody made shutters. How many? Just one. But one's enough. One is enough. I just need to fix the size and stuff. That's what I'll do then. I'll take away the door and I'll put the shutters down. I think this is more appropriate, I think. Yeah, that'll do for now. Just for now, just to give us a rough idea. So there's going to be some kind of building here. So as you come through here, you have to go through the shutters. And this sort of area, I think I'm going to block this off. I don't think I'm going to make you go through here. Maybe just put like a, just for now, put a bunch of cars or something. These are like the cars that are not yet scrapped, but almost about to get scrapped, right? And I'll just randomly continue this little fence, just to keep it going, you know. And then I'll block it off here. I think that'll be fine. Oops. Right, I think I need to like optimize this side fence here. Right, it doesn't quite stretch the way that it was supposed to, but since I'm going to redo this building anyway, I don't think it really matters. Right, just for now, right, that's how it looks, right? So maybe we don't have to detail this part, so if we come through here, maybe the camera angle's like, it's like behind the tyres or something like that. And then after you go up to there, the next camera angle might be like that, or that. So there's a lot of options. As long as we see that you can enter this shutter here. I think that's pretty decent. Let me just catch up here. I released my video early. Oh, good. So you're away to release your video. Good stuff. I'll need to check that out later after I'm finished. I am back. Welcome, June on Discord. Welcome back. You might find something more fitting if you type in shack. Less corporate looking buildings, I suppose. Yeah, let's have a look and see. Shack. Good old shack. Do you want a gingerbread house in a survival horror? I think that would be quite good. Wild West shack. This might be good actually. This one here. Not for the main building, just for like a storage shed or something. If you don't want to enter the shack, that might be good. That is not a shack. Come on. Shack, for me a shack is made of wood, not stone. We made that. Oh, what's that? A fishing shack? That's like a whole scene ready made for you. Sci-fi, I don't know what that's got to do with shacks, but okay. A shackled skeleton. Chiropod. What does that have to do with a shack? Oh, it's because his name's Frost Shack. That makes sense now. What else have we got? Oh, there's a tank. Nice. A rusty tank. Yeah, I think that's as much as we're going to find for shacks so far. I think I'll try this one. If it loads. Oh, that is massive. Look at the size of that. Right, let's bring that down a little bit. Maybe that's what I can do. Instead of those cars, I can put some kind of storage shack or something. Maybe that would be a bit better. I'm going to block it though, I don't want to use that back entrance. Let me see, I'll turn the cars then, try and fit this in. Can that car fit through there? Nah, I don't think so. I think I'll just get rid of those cars then. Just get another one of those barrels. Oh, where's the barrel? In here. Just to block some of the little side parts. There we go. That'll do. So inside here, I know there's a little exit way here, but I'll probably block this off. So now we can do some more little things in here maybe. That's a good find then. It gives a bit more variety. So now we've got like a little shack that we can, maybe I'll delete that, maybe I'll bring this out a bit. Right, so now we need to figure out what exactly we're going to put in this shack. As you can see, the thermal is getting quite high, but I haven't optimized anything yet, so I could easily bring this down, so I wouldn't worry about it yet. But I think for a stage, this is decent, I guess. So we start here, wake up here, we go through here. We see those trucks, they're there. Then we've got two options. We need to go this way, some zombies. another zombie here. There's a key somewhere, maybe here, or maybe in the zombie. You can pick it up. Once you get the key, come around here. Oh no, there's another zombie blocking our path. That's not good. And we come through here. There's some tons of tires here. As you hit this sort of section here, I guess it can be more like this. So you've got a choice. Do you want to go through into the main building, or do you want to go into this little shack? And we need to decide what, gameplay wise and visual wise, what's going to be inside here. And I just realised I did not save this. Like this entire stream, I did not save. That's not good. Don't pick up that bad habit from me. You should always save just in case. I just completely forgot. So I think that's decent progress for this area. I think once I build this properly, this building, it's going to be much bigger, and I'm going to have to build it all from scratch. I'm going to have to really design it, because I'm going to have to structure the building and the rooms and stuff. That's why I left the hospital section to last, because this hospital is going to fry my brain. I'm going to have to think of all of the layout for all of the departments of the hospital, and what doors are locked, and what things you can unlock, and the puzzles, and where all the items are, and because that's going to be the main bulk of the game. So I'm going to be going crazy trying to design that hospital. So that'll be something I'll need to think about, but I don't know what I'm going to put in this shack yet. Maybe this is where they keep some tires, I don't know. Some shelves or something. Is it going to be an open shack? Do you just walk in and it's all open? Or, you know, do you make it more like a tight space? Maybe there's a zombie in here. You know, so you've got a corridor of tires, and you have to go down this little corridor here, and then, oh no, there's a zombie hiding behind there. I'm just going with the flow here. I'll probably change this later, but let's just imagine, right, that it's a corridor of tires, right? Let me just put that there just to block that. I don't know, imagine there's like a zombie here or something. I don't know, just an idea. Or an item or something. Maybe you come in here, right? You pick up an item, and then there's a cutscene, there's like a zombie, and it comes this way. And you're like, oh no, I'm trapped. I'm trapped in the tires, and I can't go out this way because some idiot has made a door where there's a fence, and I can't get through. So you've got no choice but to fight the zombie. So if you've got no ammo by this point, you're screwed, my friend. Screwed. Let me see if I can find some shelves. That would be, yeah, quite good for the junkyard, yeah. Shelves, wooden shelves. What can we find? I guess these shelves would be quite good. I don't want, I want something wooden, something a bit more fragile. Let me see if I just go with these ones. I can't see. Right, let me just make them like really small right now. I don't know, what would you keep on the shelves, like nails and stuff? I don't know. The tools. If we can find some tools, that would be quite cool, wouldn't it? What kind of tools can we find? What? Oh, this guy's made like a whole collection of tools. Let me see, I'm going to check out his collection. He's got a collection of 3, just 3. Would this be necessary? I don't know. Maybe for visuals, but I don't plan to use any of these tools for gameplay. It's just an idea, you know, for the visuals. What is that? Some of these environments, that looks quite nice. That moon. Yeah, right, that's not what we're here for. Oh, I went back too far. Tools, 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 tools. I don't see anything. I'll need to come back to the tools, I think. I'll put the, if I've got space, I'll put this down. Even though I'm not going to use that. Let's just put them there for now, right? Let's just assume this is where they keep their tools, right? This is the tool wall. Right, and we'll get some things on the shelves. All the little details that don't mean anything. Let's make some of these smaller, I guess. Take away that one just to, so you can go through there. I don't know. That looks like a good work in progress then. We'll see how we can fit in that with the gameplay. Oh, that would be good if I could put a zombie there. Like, that's just a coincidence that zombie's here, right? But what if when you come here, since this is the start of the game for the second character, you don't have a lot of exposure to the zombies yet, and maybe there's some zombies on the fence and they're hitting the fence, you know, just for an extra bit of scene building. Because after you go inside this building, you're going to meet a guy. He's boarding up everything. He gives you a weapon, and then, or a second weapon, I don't know, or some ammo, and then that's when the onslaught begins. That's when all the zombies start like bursting through and stuff, and the guy runs away and you're like, what are you doing? You're supposed to help me. And then you need to run past all of the zombies as they're coming in and make your way onto the streets outside, and then you eventually get to the basketball court, which is where you meet the other character on the other side of the basketball court, and then you talk about meeting up again at the hospital because it's meant to be like a fortress. So the first character makes the way into the main entrance of the hospital. The second character is going to be probably like the back entrance or the side entrance, some kind of car park or something, just so they start in different locations. But yeah, so far so good. So good. It'll be really good once I start to get all of the gameplay sorted. We're not too far away. If this is one scene, we've got the inside of here is a scene. We've got the streets is another scene. Some alleyways, because I want the first character goes through a lot of streets, so I want the second character to focus mostly on alleyways and sort of tight spaces. So I'll do a couple of alleyway scenes, the basketball court scene, and then leading into the hospital. So like, still get some work to do. Hopefully within the next couple of weeks we can get all the visuals, the basic visuals and gameplay, the level design finished, so we can start working on the gameplay. Also about the streams, I meant to say, like, normally we do the create stream on Tuesday. I still could do it on Tuesday, it's just that my schedule's changing a little bit and it's going to be a little tighter for time. So I think these create streams are probably most likely going to be Thursdays now, because I've got more time. Because if I do a stream on Tuesday now, I might only have like time for like 1 hour to stream, whereas on Thursday I have a good few hours, so I can spend like 2-3 hours on a stream. So yeah, I think the create streams are more likely to be Thursdays now, and the play streams, they'll still be Saturday same time, because I've got time every week to play. And this Saturday I'm going to play a lot of levels. I'm going to play new levels, but a lot of old levels that I missed, because like watching Gribble Gringer and some other YouTubers showcasing all these other Dreams. Like, I don't have enough time to play every Dream, so I'm going to try and catch up with as much early access stuff that I've missed, and really exhaust as many levels as I possibly can. Only the very best levels, not every level, but like the very best ones that I should play before early access ends. So we'll be doing that on Saturday. Hopefully I can get a good collection. If you've got any people that curate levels, I should say, if they've got like a collection of like the very best action levels, the very best platformers, so on, I'll just play through everything as much as I possibly can. Maybe a tool can be used to escape the junkyard, something to cut through the wiring or something along those lines. Could be. Maybe you could open the trunk of the car to find an item, the trunk or the boot, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, but the gameplay, I'm going to really need to think about how I'm going to solve all of these things. Because the first character, there was you get the fire extinguisher in the job centre. You leave the job centre, there's a small fire, you put the fire out to continue. So that's the only key item I've created so far for the first character. So I definitely need to create a key item for the second character. I just don't know what yet. Because once you leave this area and then you go into the onslaught in the mechanics building and then the streets, you're not going to come back through all those zombies again to pick up a key item. So I don't want to put any key items here unless you have to use it already, because I think backtracking all the way, it's not good. So the idea I had was like the first character, she started on one part of the city, the second character on the other part, but it like on the like 3/4 of the way through the game, they both visit each other's area and they see how it's changed. So the mechanics, it looks great right now, but after the onslaught, when the first character, after she leaves the hospital, she's going to come through the alleyways, she's going to see this area and the mechanics is going to be completely destroyed, and you're probably going to see the owner that was alive in the other playthrough. You'll see him maybe dead, maybe he's got like a weapon that you can pick up and use for the first character. So I'm trying to integrate both characters' origins together so that you can still experience it from another perspective. But man, there's a lot of work to do, because I want to finish this year. I want to finish this game and the first person game. I want 2 games out. I'm determined. 2 games, a couple of animated series, little short episodes. Like, this is the year that I start to actually output a lot of content, games and animations. So yeah, I think that's some good progress for today. I think I saved it. I don't know if did I put the tools in before or after I saved it. I don't know. Let's just save it again, right? So this is scene 1 for character 2. Yeah. So I think I'm going to end the stream now. I need to go get something to eat and then get ready to go back to work. So it was great to be back. Like I said, from now on, every Create stream is going to be scheduled for every Thursday around about the same time as now, and Saturday, same as always, the gameplay stream where we just play levels. We're going to play a bunch of levels this Saturday, so if you want to tune in there, recommend some levels, some not just new levels but older levels, just so I can experience everything that early access has to offer. And then if you want to check out the next Create stream, Thursday. So thanks very much guys for tuning in. It was great to be back, great to hear from a lot of you again. If you're working on anything, please send me your projects to check out, any teasers, full games, whatever, just send, it doesn't bother me, and I'll check out some of your stuff. So I'm going to go now, I'm getting pretty hungry, so enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you on Saturday for the play stream, or next Thursday for another Create stream. So bye, take care, see you later.